I want to go back now to that shocking story out of Sydney where a man in his 30s has died after he was hit by a garbage truck while riding an e-bike near Sydney CBD. The accident happened a few hours before the New South Wales Government actually announced new rules limiting the power of e-bikes to 250 watts, down from 500. Let me go to Assistant Commissioner David Driver from the New South Wales Police Traffic and Highway Police Patrol Command. Thanks for joining us, David. I appreciate it. We've seen a lot of e-bike accidents around the country, in New South Wales, but in all the other states as well. Fatalities, of course, sometimes occurring on the road, sometimes occurring on paths and footpaths. How would you describe these devices, these vehicles, the change they've made to traffic management and traffic safety in the country?
Well, look, e-bikes themselves are treated as bicycles. It's only when they're too powerful that they become an unregistered motorbike. So most people do the right thing and they're compliant with the law, but unfortunately we have seen a number of e-bikes that have been purchased that exceed the power output, or indeed have been modified to exceed the power output, and that effectively makes them a motorcycle.
Yeah, well, let's deal with that first. And that's what the new laws in New South Wales are going to deal with, reducing the amount of power that's legal. But those laws are already in place in other states, yet there are these illegal faster bikes. How much of a problem are they? And of course, the difficulty for you in that is enforcing the law, is tracking them down and getting rid of them.
Look, yeah, they are a problem. The biggest safety issue is that the vehicles were not designed to travel at the speeds they're capable of. Now, some of them have got 2 kilowatt motors, so 4 times their legal power at the moment in New South Wales. So they're meant to be not exceeding 500 watts, and some of them are 2,000 watts. So if they're crashed, often the protective equipment isn't appropriate for the speed at which they're travelling, nor is the bike designed to go that fast. So some of them are capable of quite high speeds, which creates a significant danger. And we just want people to make sure that if they are purchasing a bike, particularly at this Christmas period, that they purchase one that complies with New South Wales law and the person is capable of riding it. It's one thing to buy a bike, it's another thing to be able to ride it, and an e-bike gives you a different sensation. When you pedal and it takes off under its own power, it'll be a new sensation. So we don't want people to overcomplicate their learning by having to deal with traffic, other bikes, pedestrians, etc. They should learn how to ride the bike first and then change the environment which they're riding, but learn in a safe area.
But I think that's the other aspect I want to get your thoughts on. Even if you're operating under the law at the moment, you have unlicensed teenagers often using these e-bikes on the roads, riding them around in traffic. Now, sure, they'll do that on push bikes as well, but these things are quicker and more powerful. Is there a concern there that unlicensed kids are riding them almost like motorbikes on the streets?
Oh, look, of course it's a concern, and if they're performing wheel stands or riding them furiously or way too fast. Another issue is if they're being ridden at night without appropriate lighting, they do present a danger, and we don't want to be knocking on people's door and giving them a message that they don't want to hear. We want everyone to get home safely, indeed ride bicycles safely, but there's an obligation on the road users, on the e-bike users, and indeed those that purchase the bikes, to check to make sure they are compliant. And it's not a set and forget. It's important that they buy the bike and make sure that they're not modified in the future. Some of them are modified by changing a 4-digit PIN code, and that can be done very, very quickly. Others put bigger motors on them, and that just creates a massive danger.
Just briefly, it is safer for kids to be riding on the footpath or on other paths. What about the risk to the pedestrians? We've seen a lot of pedestrians hit.
Well, children under the age of 16 can ride on the footpath, and an adult that is supervising them can also ride on the footpath. But beyond that, if you're over 16, you must ride on the road, unless, of course, the bikes are prohibited by a bylaw or something like that. But it does create an issue if pedestrians are struck by any vehicle, whether it be a bicycle or a vehicle. As soon as we add speed and weight, that creates a danger for everyone. So
sure does.
It's important that everyone's patient. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Assistant Commissioner. Appreciate it. David Driver there from the New South Wales Police. As I say, those restricted power laws are in place in other states. They're coming down now in New South Wales, but a lot of e-bikes out there illegally more powerful. Keep an eye out for that.